Welcome to BET's Black Coffee. I'm Marc Lamont Hill. I'm here with Gia Peppers and Jameer, the fabulous co-hosts. And of course, we've got a special guest in the house. Her debut single, You, has been #1 on the R&B adult charts for 5 weeks in a row. Please welcome singer Nicole Bus to the show.
Thank
How you feeling today?
I'm feeling marvelous. It's a blessing to be here with you guys. Thank you.
Yes.
5 weeks in a row?
Yes, don't ask me. I'm shocked too.
The song is beautiful though, and your voice is incredible on it. I think that's what pierces through like all the hip hop beats and the vibes, but then your voice is just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
I'm so happy for you.
And we're happy for you, and the audience is happy for you too. We have a lot of people in the social community who've been writing in. They've been writing in all week. In fact, earlier in the week, they were talking about men tapping into their emotions, the state of hip hop, so much more. But of course, nothing stirred up more debate than Jameer's I Said What I Said rant, where he advocated, quite correctly for once, of drumsticks over flats. People on YouTube somehow found that to be incredulous. I don't know what y'all talking about. But and he said, y'all tripping flats all day, every day. Jared McGriff said, first of all, Jameer is a kid, which is why he likes drums.
First of all, he can fight me. Like, square up, Jared McGriff. All right?
We don't fight our fans.
That is true.
Lucia Hodge said, but what kind of sauce y'all got for this chicken, though? Just saying. Hot sauce, of course, Louisiana. That's an easy answer. And on Twitter, Dope Black King said, well, guess we got to cancel Black Coffee because Marc Lamont Hill and Jameer Pond are out here spreading lies about drums being better than flats. That, sir, is something up with which I will not put.
But the Nene GIF was everything now.
Yeah.
I'm living for that. I always live for a Nene Leaks moment.
And it was pretty dope. Well, we got more conversation today, so remember to use the hashtag Black Coffee Live. You can hit us anytime. We want to talk to Nicole. We want your comments on Nicole because honestly, like, watching how your career has moved and the choices you've made has been really sort of inspiring to a lot of us. Did you see this coming?
Well, I'm a believer and I prayed for it and I believed for it, but to see it manifest is a whole nother chapter. And it's a beautiful thing to envision to be a part of Roc Nation, envision to come to the other side of the sea and, you know, be here in America. It's always been a dream, but to be here, for instance, with you guys, it's beyond the dream. Yes.
We're so proud of you. So Roc Nation is legendary.
Yes.
The label, Jay-Z as the boss. Like, what was the signing process like? Tell us about how you got together with that incredible label. Like, that group is crazy.
Yes, I totally agree with you. That's so true.
Those are my bosses, yeah.
I actually have to.
No, it's true. You know, if it wasn't, it wasn't, but it is. You know, so. What for me 5 years ago, I need to go back in time. I met the producer Needles in Atlanta, and we started this partnership. We're like, okay, we want to work together, create music, and create something that you know, when I listened to Alicia Keys, it touched me. So we wanted to create something like when you heard Lauryn Hill for the first time, or something like that feel, that real music that hits you inside, right? So we had this agreement, like, okay, let's make beautiful music. And I remember 5 years ago, we were standing at a traffic light, and he's like, what do you want to do else? I said, well, I will be signed by Roc Nation.
I know that's right.
Wow.
Speak it, the power
Yes.
That's crazy.
Let me tell you something. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah. So I said it, and I remember him looking at me like, oh, okay, I guess. And 4 years later, the A&R reached out to his Instagram, because what we did, you know how it is when you're in the studio, you're like having fun, but you're just recording the box with the new music.
Right.
And in that 24-hour window, the A&R reached out like, I don't know who this lady is. Is she willing to come to a Roc Nation showcase?
Wow.
So they actually reached out to us like 4 years later.
dope.
Wow.
Yeah, that's God all over it.
Literally.
Yes.
And so you get to the showcase, you perform the songs that you guys created.
Yes.
And then you get signed, or how long did that take for it to actually move forward?
Well, of course, as every contractual season and situation.
We know about that.
It
We know
always
about that.
takes
Paper
time.
right, you know what I'm
Yes.
Yeah.
It definitely takes time, you know, but thank God I'm sitting here with you guys right now.
Yes.
So it obviously happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that means you get to go to the flyest events.
Yes.
Like the Roc Nation brunch and all that. So tell me what that was like. I did get to go in New York last year, and I was like, or not last year, 2 years ago. And I was like, wow, this is
How did you like it?
It was heaven on earth. Like, It was the most inspiring room because literally you looked around and you saw Jay and you saw him talking to Big Sean and 2 Chainz and DJ Khaled and all these people, and you're like, these are the people that I literally watch and listen. These are the people in my ear every day. And at that time they had just dropped Higher, and I just remember hearing the song like Family Feud, I'm sorry, and seeing the video and everything about that song was so beautiful. So I was like, oh, this is a dream, and I'll never forget this.
Right.
But was that a similar experience for you?
I can definitely say it was. You need to understand, in Amsterdam, I feel like, especially the Black community, we are so Americanized. So everything that happens in America concerning Black culture, we're on it. We eat it, we chew it, you know, till the bone. We break the bone, and you know, we like eat everything.
The drum or the flat?
Oh,
Well done, sir.
that was cute. So for us to come here and to get that invitation, it was beautiful because, as you said, you're coming there, you're entering the room, and a lot of the people that inspired me along the journey were there, and they were so gentle and nice, and you know that was an extra like. Nice. They're nice people.
That's awesome.
Yes.
You talked about the Black community. I think a lot of people, when they hear the word Dutch, don't think Black.
I understand.
What's that like, especially in America where we don't always have the kind of global understanding of what Blackness looks like?
Well, first of all, I would like to erase that pre-assumption that we are not everywhere. We are everywhere.
No, that's
you know, and especially in Amsterdam, which is something that makes me very proud. Our culture is there very strong, and especially in the creative sector, we influence a lot of what you see in music and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, we are everywhere. That's undeniable.
So when you're like, what's the relationship between Black folk in Amsterdam and the United States in terms of culture? Like, are you watching a lot of Black American culture? Are you watching, you know, obviously BET, we're everything. But are you consuming a lot of Black culture there? Black American culture?
Yes, yes. We look up to the artists from America, even to fashion, everything. We definitely look up to America, and I feel like most people's dream is to fly over and come to the States. And you know, I know for a lot of Americans it's the opposite. Like, I want to go to Europe, but we
Definitely
all want to.
Amsterdam.
Yeah, I understand. Yes.
All right.
But that's it. Yes.
She's like, oh,
I get that answer all the time. Yeah, okay.
I can imagine, right. There's so much more in Amsterdam than shenanigans.
Oh,
but people
definitely.
assume, you know,
Right.
they have a very narrow idea of what happens in Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
I've been and had a great time. You know, museums, art, restaurants.
You did.
Yes.
doing things that play.
Well, since like the culture has always been ingrained in you, when you were growing up, who could you remember listening to that you were like instantly from America? You were like, oh, their voice resonates with me so much.
First of all, I don't think I can say Sade is not really American. She's
Yeah.
But for me, it was American.
Oh, right.
In my
Yeah,
mind,
yeah.
it was Bob Marley, you know, Jamaican, of course, but because of America, he got his big breakthrough. Lauryn Hill, been a huge inspiration to me since I was 12, 13. She was the reason why I picked up my guitar.
Wow.
Like, I went to my father's room, stole his guitar and be like, let me practice and get this Lauryn Hill in, you know. What else? Listen a lot to D'Angelo, Alicia Keys, Destiny's Child.
Yes, Destiny's Child.
Yes, that was huge. Yes.
Yes, they're so everything. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about your song, You, because it is so dope again, but you dedicated it to Black men. So I would love to talk to you a little bit about that, because I love Black men as well. But
And it is Father's Day this weekend,
And it's
so an
Father's
extra
Day.
shout out to Black
Father's
men.
Day to the
my
fathers.
dad, Grant
Yes.
Peppers, I love you, Dad. But tell me a little bit about, you know, why you chose that, and your thoughts on Black men and love.
Yes. Well, I have to bring it back to the conversation that we had while we were creating the song. Because, of course, we had this epic moment whereby one of the guys said, oh my God, we should flip Cream, get the money. And it was like, everyone was like, yeah, you know, like ecstatic, like woohoo. And then we start talking serious, and we had a lot of those type of conversations about how can we use the music and really do something for our time, for our generation, for our people. And I remember a guy came in and I think there was a police shooting, something very depressing. You know, a black man got shot and he was talking about that. And me coming from Amsterdam and the Netherlands, we are not acquainted or we are not known with that type of aggression or racism. That's unknown to us. Okay. So me sitting there, and I'm biracial because my dad is Dutch and my mom is from Curacao. So I was just listening to a lot of the frustration of the guys in the room, and we were just talking about what can we bring to the table to change the narratives of how a lot of the outlets portray black men. Yes. And we were having this very deep, depressed conversation, and I remember I looked at one of the guys and said, why don't we create something positive, something uplifting, something that when a black boy hears it, he's not afraid, but he feels encouraged? Why don't we write this element of encouragement within the song? It's still a love song. Everyone can relate to love, you know? But let's put that element of encouragement in it because we need it in this generation. And so that's what happened. So we were like, okay, who are the heroes right now? You know, like Luke Cage and, you know, of course, Kanye as well. Like, we're like, Kanye, but put it in a funny way because of the contradiction that has been going on. We're like, it doesn't matter, you know, because
I heard the Steph Curry line.
We're one, Steph Curry, Idris Elba, you know. And that's actually how it came to pass, because I believe we are one and we need to learn how to unite and see our strength instead of our weaknesses, and that's how this song came to pass.
Wow.
Yes.
I love that.
So we got so many questions and comments coming in. Keep them coming in. Use the hashtag Black Coffee Live so that we can talk about it. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of other news topics as well, because right now, the FBI here in the United States is investigating a string of mysterious deaths in the Dominican Republic. Of course, we know former Red Sox player David Ortiz was shot on the island on Sunday. He's now recovering. There's also reports of people getting sick at DR resorts. It's a, Shark Tank, actually Shark Tank, Barbara Corcoran, is it? She said her brother died mysteriously. They're trying to figure that out. So there's a lot going on. They said it was a heart attack, but now she's suspicious. I don't know what's going on, but when I travel now to certain places, I get nervous. At the same time, I don't want to, every place in the third world, every place in the Caribbean, every place in Africa, to suddenly be looked at as some place where you could die.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
It's a hard thing to come. But I was weird. When David Ortiz got shot, I got scared.
Yeah, and then I think all the mystery around it. You know, the shooter is in custody, and he said this was a hit. You know, it makes you like think. I'm like, what is going on?
And for like $8,000.
$8,000.
I don't want to go to no country where somebody will do a hit for $8,000.
$8,000?
And then you think about like the unfortunate narratives that will now be created around going to islands and things like that, because there was already this feeling of like, well, if you go down there, watch out. Now it's definitely like, I think I might cancel my trip, like because at this point it's our safety that's on the line. But again, we all know how the media plays a role in it too. So you do have to take everything with a grain of salt. But if people are getting hits and there's all these strings of deaths, then I'm a little scared.
I mean, y'all travel a lot. What kind of safety measures do y'all take?
I think, all right, so I do take safety measures, but I always want to say, like, when I go to predominantly black islands and spaces, to keep an open mind. Like, because people will be like, whatever you do, don't leave the resort. Right. And it's like, I get it, but, like, these people also look like me. And so somebody who is white to tell me that is a little, thrown on. I'm a tourist. I'm not from here, but I'm black as well. So when I went to Jamaica, I went to Jamaica by myself. I saw people play, football or soccer. And I actually absorbed the culture because I'm like, these people look like me. Yes, I'm gonna take my precaution, I'm gonna be cautious.
Yes.
But I'm not gonna be afraid to see my people. And I think people have to get that out of their minds. Like, it's cool, travel in packs, travel as a group, but don't be afraid to see people who look like you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love Jamaica. Jamaica is one of my
beautiful
places on earth. I want to have my
wedding
wedding there.
go, man.
All that. It's incredible. Oh, and you should go to Bob Marley's compound. I've never been. But I've heard it's
top
fire.
3 list.
Same.
Yeah.
It's life-changing there.
Yeah,
It really
it's
is.
beautiful, and the waters are healing. But again, I have to take different precautions because
As a
I'm a woman.
Yes.
Because there are times where, like, even when when we were just talking about in the dressing room, like when I was 13, we used to go to Jamaica all the time when we were kids, and I remember distinctly like how the people at the resort looked at you differently when you were older now. So like the men were a little bit more like, what's good, yo, yeah man, like, and I'm like, now I'm still 13 though. So I think as women we have to be smarter about like how we travel, like lying and saying like if I've gone to a hotel and been like, oh, my boyfriend's on the next flight in, he missed his flight. Like I will always make sure that people think that no matter what, I'm not by myself.
Right.
And then
That's
if I'm
pretty heavy
Yeah.
when you think about it, because for some reason, look, I'm 6'2". For some reason, I don't experience it not on this level, how you explain it. And for some reason, I always blame my height. Don't ask me why, but it works.
But you're beautiful, girl.
Well, thank you there. But I think it's a bad thing that in 2019 we still have to think about these things. Especially you're talking about Jamaica, and those are our people. You know? I think that's. And to be honest, it's not even only those places.
Absolutely
I feel
not.
it's all over the world.
Everywhere.
It's in Western countries. It doesn't matter. You always have to have that precautiousness. I hope I said that right. Excuse my mind.
You got it.
Okay. So I think it's sad when I'm listening to you. I'm like, when will that change?
I hope it changed too.
And that's a great point, because a lot of the black countries or islands get labeled as, don't leave.
Oh, it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yes.
It transcends
off on
color.
resort.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So,
And the other thing to think about, because I agree with you, it's wherever you go, you
wherever.
can have these problems. I spend most of my time doing research and traveling in Africa, particularly East Africa and also the Middle East. And so people always say, don't go near the natives like you do. Don't go near the natives. Don't go near the people. I've had the best experiences.
Exactly.
But I will say, when I have had challenges, a lot of times it's not the people, it's the governments. For example, in DR, I left the island. I went to DR by myself, and I was traveling and going places. The problem for me was the police.
Yeah.
The police would pull me over at a red light and say, you ran that stop sign, or you ran that red light. I was like, no, I didn't. I'm here at the red light now. I'm still here.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I think you're going to run it. I was like, He was like, so, I was like, well.
You're going to
I was like, I ain't read it. He was like,
Minority Report? Like, oh, yeah.
I can see this coming.
I see it happening.
Long story short, he says, well, you're going to get a ticket. So you can either go to jail and pay the ticket after 3 days, or you can pay me right now.
Oh, that's how it works?
So
it's like, yo, give me money.
Right.
Because you're not from here. You don't know the rules.
See, initially he thought I was from there, because he pulled me over in a rent-a-car.
Got you.
And I spoke Spanish. So he was, and I'm brown enough to look Dominican, Dominicans are all shades, right? So he was like, pay me. Then when he realized I wasn't, he was in too deep, and he was like, so I gave him $200. I ain't want to go to jail.
Go to jail.
I was like, I could win this, but I don't want to spend 3 days in a Dominican jail.
Yeah. Right.
And so that type of security is also an issue. You got to learn to protect yourself from sexual violence, sexual assault. You have to think about theft. You also have to think about the police, because a lot of times these governments don't pay the police, so the way they make their money is as tax collectors by going through the places robbing people.
Right.
That happened to me in Egypt too. So it's one of those things you have to deal with, man. Right. Traveling is unsafe. Travel with people, have a connection, know the embassy.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Be able to call your embassy is a bit, even saying I'm going to call an embassy will keep a lot of heat off you. So that's something. Let's switch gears though a little bit, because everybody is talking about relationships.
Yeah.
It's all we talk about, right? Because everybody's trying to get that thing right.
Yeah.
So we decided to do an MOS, a person on the streets.
Okay.
Man on the street.
This is our first man on the street, by the way.
Okay.
We call it a Vox Pop in England.
Oh.
Yeah. And we hit the streets of New York to find out if the man should always provide in a relationship. Should the man provide in the relationship? And the answers I thought were kind of surprising. Look at this.
I think somewhat to provide, but I also, like, as a black woman, I feel like I bring something to the table. So I do expect a man to bring something to the table, but I'll meet him just as well.
Everyone should go 50-50.
Absolutely. That's the main role as a man. You gotta do two things, provide and protect.
Absolutely. I didn't have a provider, so as a male figure, so I have to be the male figure that provides for my family.
I'm totally fine with it being 50-50, however it is, as long as there's some sort of consensual agreement, as long as we agree, that's fine with me.
You expect you to provide something, and just good conversation ain't probably getting it done. You gotta speak to them needs. Now, them needs ain't just financial, it's emotional stability, it's comfort, there's a lot of things, but you provide something.
If we go out on a date, I don't mind paying for the whole thing, you know what I mean? But there'll be times that, you might pay for the whole thing, and That's what love is, just trying to figure out who's paying for what and what we're doing at that time.
That is what love is.
That's what love is. Figuring out who's gonna pay for what.
Payment.
What do y'all think?
Should a man always... I want to hear your opinion on that.
I think we're in 2019 right now. You know, almost everyone is a feminist. I think it should be equally yoked, if that's the right pronunciation to say it. I don't believe in the men providing everything and putting that pressure nowadays on the men only. I think it should be a business mindset whereby you build an empire together and not only lean on one person to provide. That's just my opinion.
That's beautiful. I mean, I'm a bit of a traditionalist, and I grew up in
tell,
an
Miss
age
Peppers.
where
Pepper.
my dad was like, I mean, and again, it depends on the stage of the relationship for me. Obviously, if we're together, I don't expect you to pay for everything, and I actually don't mind paying for things, like especially if we're going out, and I'm like, I want to go out, we going out, then that's something different.
But is your paying for things like, I'll pay this time, it's Monday, but Tuesday through Saturday, do you still have the expectation he's gonna pay for most of it?
I mean, I was raised like that only because, like, I think dads tell daughters, like, if he can't take care of you, then, you know, I think that's a whole nother thing. And I think growing up how I did and seeing dad take care of mom, and again, mom took care of herself as well. But I do think, in traditional terms, I do think that a man should be like a provider. I don't think he has to do it all the time. And I do believe that, especially when you get in relationships and you understand what you're building, I do believe in building an empire together. So like, I don't, like if we're living together or figuring that out, then that looks like a conversation of like how we can actually make this work together. But I believe if you're courting somebody, then yeah, I think you should be paying for most of the dates until we figure it out.
50-50.
You're for instance,
Not 60-40?
Not 60-40, 50-50.
So the
As
first
Steve Harvey
day,
would say.
you're going out and you're like, hey,
No,
that was fun.
I'll take you out. But here's the thing.
Why? I don't understand.
Here's the thing. If I ask you out, protocol is for me to pay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you ask me out, protocol is for you to pay.
Okay.
That's protocol.
So if a woman says, Jameer, we should go to dinner, I'd really love to get to know you better, that's her asking you out.
Yeah.
And then when the check comes,
I'm gonna do that courtesy reach. But then, you know what I'm saying? Because women do the courtesy reach too. Y'all do the courtesy reach.
I hate that courtesy.
Women don't even do the courtesy reach no more.
No, women do.
They do the courtesy
They
like,
go,
they don't even reach no more. They go, you want me to pay? They just nod toward the pocketbook. And they expect you to say no.
Right.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not okay with that. I'm okay with a conversation about who's going to do what. Most men, in my perspective, myself included, will pay for a first date, not because I think we should, but because our cultural understanding is that men pay.
Sure.
So if I don't, then it's like, oh, he ain't shit.
Right.
Our cultural understanding.
Right.
I pay for first dates.
But I don't think I should be. I'm saying if it's 50-50, it's 50-50. I don't think that men should be paying. I don't think women should be paying.
Relationships.
Oh, no, see.
Yeah, see, that's different though.
Yeah, so they were talking about relationships.
So in terms of relationships, to me, I mean, there's other factors we have to consider. Women make less.
Well,
Black women definitely make less.
sometimes, because I was about to ask,
women
what
make more.
if you make more? Because
Yeah,
I
if you're the
know
breadwinner,
a
that's different.
bunch of ladies that earn way more than their partner.
men.
Yeah.
And,
A lot
you
of black
know,
women
so I don't, especially in that case, I don't think it's logical to be like, well, I got the bigger check, but I'm depending on your
Right.
check to
Right.
fill all the void. I don't,
Right.
I don't
That's
think
a
that's
solid point.
That's
That's
dope.
a
And
good
I also think it depends on who you date. Like, not everybody, like, a lot of the men that I've been on dates with are the types to be like, nah, you don't got, like, you're good. Like, you don't
Yeah.
need to do that. And I think, again, in relationship stages that changes, but I think it's who you date, because some men don't feel comfortable with you always taking care of the bill. They'll be like, whoa.
And that's a fact. I'm one of those dudes. I don't feel comfortable with someone just taking care of the bill. Like we can
All the time.
All the time, yeah.
But you just told me you were doing the courtesy thing over here.
Yeah, you're right. I do
Every
do the
now and
courtesy.
then.
Oh.
If you ask me out
Yeah.
and you go, hey, I think we should go to dinner.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do.
You're so funny.
Okay.
I didn't set up the date.
Okay.
Yeah, as a man, I'm a
Do you get second dates when you do that?
Yeah.
Because I find a lot of women, my women friends, they say to me, like, I'm not going out with him again because he made me
didn't
split.
pay.
Yeah, he either asked me to split or he ain't pay.
But you.
Well, I think we're friends if you make me split on the first date.
And I think that's what I'm saying.
It's, right. So I think now, if this is like the 9th or 10th date, now we can be comfortable with some. I got it. Or we can split it.
Yeah.
Or you You got
Even
it?
the
All right.
fifth date. Like, it doesn't have to be so long, but I honestly like being like, no, you good. Like, I like that.
Yeah.
But not on the first date.
Nah, not on first date. I don't think on first date. But when it comes to relationships, I don't think a man should be the sole provider. I think everybody should provide.
For each other.
For each other.
Agreed.
That's what helps build a foundation. Like, all right, if you make more than me, cool. When you get home, place gonna be spotless. You're not gonna have to worry about dinner. There's other ways you can provide outside of just financial providing.
And houses are expensive. Like, you split a lot. You split bills, you split mortgages, you split a lot. And then so you can build and make sure that you have a joint account. Like, you know, like I think eventually when you really start moving into incorporating two lives into one, that becomes a whole nother situation.
It's a partnership,
right?
Exactly. You know,
some partners got more.
You're not with your parents anymore, or just taking care of you. You gotta put something on the table. Yeah.
I think it's just hard to figure out for people how to imagine feminism, because you said like everybody's a feminist, right?
Almost. I feel the people that are more, how do you say, how do I say that in a proper way? The people that understand more of the balance between how it should be are feminists.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to be a woman to be a feminist.
Right.
But there's just ways that I think like patriarchy and like male dominance are still in our brains, right? So I want equality. I'm saying Marc, want equality, and we all want equality. But then my first impulse is you still open the door,
of course,
as a ritual.
Right.
Yeah. You got manners.
You still stand on this side of the street. Like there are all these things that men do, which are old school modes of men protecting women.
And are you open if a woman says it's not necessary? Are you open to that? Are you like willing to step a little bit back if they're like, oh, you don't have
I'm excited when they say it's not
Yeah,
necessary.
yeah, yeah.
Because it's not what I want to be doing. Again, but it's like I know I think some of this stuff is crazy, but if I don't do it, then you think I ain't got no home training.
Right.
So we don't even get to the part of the relationship where I can say to you,
Right.
hey, I think about gender differently.
Right.
Because
I
you
love
get thrown
doing
away
that
on the first date.
I mean,
I love doing that stuff.
I definitely enjoy it.
Yeah.
I definitely think that there is this fine line between like chivalry and like, you know, what your expectations and then, you know, feminism. And I would love to explore that more when we have more time. But I really do think that like that's a good conversation on the first date. Like, I know I opened the door for you, but what do you actually really think about
Do you
that?
like some people don't like
Sometimes
that.
people don't like it.
They're like, I can open my own, which is fine. But, you know, conversations, I feel like that also needs to be had.
And I've been on dates where she'd be like, you're standing on the wrong side, doors coming, like literally,
Right.
like, and I'm like, oh, for me that means like there's not gonna be a second
stand
date.
on that side, cuz. Stand
Right.
on that side by that car.
And speaking of sides, we're gonna play a game where you have to choose sides.
Yes.
There's a new segment that we're introducing, but it's an old game called Would You Rather. So basically, you have two options, and then you literally just let me know which one you would rather. And they're not gonna be like that type of Would You Rather. It's like a PG morning show Would You Rather.
Hey,
Oh, man.
rats.
Rats. Okay. All right. Okay, so do you follow trolling just like on Instagram? Do you know?
I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't
Do you
like
know who
putting
Tekashi
people
is?
down. I do know who he
Okay,
is,
would you
yes.
rather be trolled by Tekashi 6ix9ine or 50 Cent?
Ooh.
Ain't that bad? I don't like
50 cents hurt. Like when he dropped something, it
yeah.
hurt. Like, ooh, you feel it
Like,
for
I'm
that
hurt
person.
for
So
them.
I'll take Tekashi.
Yeah, Tekashi.
Good choice.
Yeah, Tekashi definitely.
Yes.
Would you rather get $7 million just dropped off somewhere in a briefcase, or would you rather have dinner with Rihanna?
Tax-free? $7 million?
Hey, brother, I don't make the game.
Okay, got you.
I would have dinner with Rihanna.
Yes. Really?
Yeah, money. You can always. That's the thing that people don't understand. Money is always. You can create it always.
Yes.
It's everywhere if you only see it. But
Yes.
having a quality moment with someone that you can learn of, you know, or could be inspired by, that's priceless.
Absolutely. And y'all are in the same friends groups, like with Roc Nation, and you know, like that's dope.
But what would you talk to? Like, you would pass up $7 million? What? The conversation would
You
have
don't
to be.
understand. There's
That's
more
priceless.
than 7 million within me. Like,
Ooh,
7 million
I hear
doesn't
that.
define who
That's
I
a good
am.
one.
Like, I can create several $7 million.
I love it.
So I don't need that. I don't value pecunia, as we say it in Dutch, over something that's priceless. Because wisdom, time, you cannot buy time.
I know that's
And you know,
right.
the wisdom that people have, that's priceless.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's true. And
Pick up those gems.
And I love that. Did you
They
see
all
her
over here.
interview
Yeah.
magazine?
Not yet. I'm
You
gonna
gotta
read
see
it. Yes.
She has a good thing about faith in there. All right, we're gonna continue. Okay. So would you rather be able to see into the future or get a redo in the past?
I would get see through in the future. The reason why I don't have any regrets of my
Facts.
past because the mistakes were my lessons. That was my education. So
girl.
I would be like, how can I
it up.
Another job.
manipulate to the lessons? No, I'm just kidding. I would see into the future. Yes.
I love that. I love that. And then the last one is would you rather, and I did not come up with this.
Okay.
Jameer did.
Jameer probably did. Would you rather
All right,
have
fall
a
guy.
terrible gas problem or bad breath? These have to do with bodily functions. I did not come up with this, but if you had to choose, would you rather have a problem passing gas or bad breath?
What type of question is
Look,
that?
I ain't
But
come up
don't
with
look at me.
it.
I'm only the fall guy. I didn't really come up with
You
this.
didn't
Wow.
really come up with it.
I would take the one that's the most curable in the fastest way, which is the bad breath.
Bad breath all day.
Yes, I will be like flossing, having some alcohol, mouthwash.
Right,
Yeah, I would
Getting
do
all
that.
that together.
Yes.
Thank
yes.
you
The
for
whole
playing.
package.
You were
Tic
so
Tac.
fun.
Thank you.
Before we got a couple people writing in. We got a lot of people writing in. We're gonna shout some of y'all out, for your tweets, your comments, all your feedback. Juicy Fruit tweeted about our episode on mental health earlier this week and said, "Wow, I love the conversation on black coffee. Therapy literally saved my life a couple years ago." One more tweet from Marie Chanel. She said, "BET's Black Coffee with Marc, Jameer, and Gia is a great mix of fun, informative conversations that are definitely needed." Thanks again to all of you for watching. We definitely appreciate your love and support. And Nicole, I'm so glad you came.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Jersey City, we gotta go to Barcade.
Hey, don't tell me.
I know, I'm telling people what she had.
Well, cut that out. Never mind.
You stay doing that.
If you're ever in
My
Jersey
goodness.
City, let's go to Barcade.
There you go.
There
There
we
you
go.
go. There you go.
Yes.
And you remember to stream Nicole Bus's #1 single, You, wherever you listen to music. And make sure you catch her on tour with Common soon. This summer soon, right?
Yeah, next month.
Next month soon.
Congratulations. We gotta come.
We gotta do that.
Check it out.
Yes.
And for you out there, Black Coffee fan, make sure you follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and watch us every day live at 10 a.m. Eastern. But we're not leaving yet. We're gonna head over to Twitter. We're gonna have an after show conversation. It's called Black Coffee, The Refill. So we'll see you there. Bye.